some electricity from somebody.
I need to tip this thing over. It's great.
Where's the button to turn?
Oh my god.
There's probably one on there, Joyce. Can you hand me that white cable that's hanging down?
On the floor.
Yeah, just hand me the end of it. Leave it plugged in, but hand it to me. I think it'll fit. There should be a third plug on there you could plug into. Well, ask Alex. He's got a power strip back there.
We got lots of stuff like that.
Yep. Testing.
loud voice, so I may be able to. I have a pretty loud voice, so I may be able to. No, I mean, to not be like up close to it.
Right. Okay, let's move. People, move it. What? Did I scare you? Is it loud? Oh, Alex, turn it down. They're saying it's too loud. I'm loud. I know. I'm loud. Is that better? All right, let's go. Let's move. Hey, Deb with Silco, let Monica go. Let it go. Let it go. Everybody's going to have that song in their head now, right? I don't do that one. Hey, Tarquin. Let's go, baby. Okay. So for those of you that don't know Deb Kondo, she's actually a logistics expert. Can I say the word retired? I want to say that she just retired. She just moved from Colorado to Arizona, and I'm so totally excited because now I get to go visit her. But she's a logistics expert and a damn good gift basket designer and a whole bunch of other things. She's my idol when it comes to working out and being physically fit. I have a lot of work to do, but that's okay. We'll get there. But anyway, she's going to go over some shipping and receiving type things with you. But before she does that, so that we don't overwhelm her, I want you to, everybody, just take a deep breath really quick and let this out. Ready? What I want you to let out and not go on and on about today, because I know we're going to do it, is how high the rates are with UPS and FedEx and U.S. Postal Service and all these other, because we don't have any control over that. And I've been trying for years to try to get them to cooperate with us, right, through Gift Basket Association. And in your binder, there's a new company called Postage Anywhere, and they are new, and they have said that they are willing to help our industry. So if you guys want to make an account with them, they'll see this flood of gift basket companies, and then I'll have a chat with them on how they might be able to help us. Okay? All right. Here is Deb.
Hello, ladies. I don't because I'm going to be moving around and having to wrap some of these. When I do start to wrap, cellophane makes a lot of noise, so I'm going to have to put this down, and I will try not to talk, but if I have to talk loudly, I will, but I have to keep this really close. All right. So my name is Deb Kondo. I am the owner of Gift Basket Junction. I've had the business about 9 years, but as Debbie said, I am a logistics expert. I worked in transportation for 20 years, and what that means is I shipped stuff. I worked for Hefty, and I worked for Coors Brewing Company, and that's where I just recently left. I was with them for 11 years. So when you look around this boat, you'll see that there is a shipping yard just over the little berm over here. When you guys get a chance, I would like you to go up to the top of the boat and go take a look at the amazing view of that shipping yard. There are several ports in the United States that bring in things from all over the world. Long Beach is one of them, and it has one of the largest ports in the United States. There's one in Texas. There's one in Washington. There's one huge one in New York. There's one in Virginia, and there's one in Florida. What you need to remember is that the stuff that you're touching right now, it says made in China, it came on one of those containers. And that container was on a barge. And that barge came into this dock. If you look over there, you'll see humongous cranes. Those cranes pick up those containers with a huge magnet, and then they drop it on a chassis of a truck. They take that truck and they ship it across the country. Sometimes they'll just ship it to the closest rail yard, pick that container up, put it on a rail car, right, on a chassis. You've seen those in your local town, double stack containers. They'll put it on another truck and deliver it to the destination, put it in a warehouse, take it off the truck, put it in that warehouse, put it on another truck to come to a retail outlet like Walmart. That product has moved 6 or 8 times. What you don't see is all of the things that happen in between and what it costs. The cost of shipping has increased tremendously in the last 20 years that I've been in this business, and in the last 3, it's vital. The shipping industry today, the average age of a truck driver is 55 years old. Think about that for a minute. The average turnover rate for a truck driver in the trucking industry is over 150%. So, what that means to us is that our retailers aren't getting their stuff on time because there are no truck drivers to haul it. Add that to the cost of fuel and what it costs to fill up a semi. Semi costs over $400 to fill up a tank. Guys don't hold on to that kind of cash, so they have fleets that have credit cards that go and fill this stuff up. Now, I'm giving you this little history so that you understand what we are up against as a small business just to ship something across the country or across the state. I use FedEx, I use USPS, and I deliver myself. But I know just in time, which is called JIT, of what it costs to move something from one end of the country to the other. And I made it my business because that's what my life was. So I'm going to show you some ways when you think about securing your baskets. You moved that product from China all the way to the other end of the world, and it got to you in one piece. And it probably bugs the crap out of you that you had all those glue dots stuck all over it, or it was in styrofoam, but you saw how pretty the packaging was? Because they have people in logistics who create that packaging on purpose, designed just for that product, so that it doesn't move when it goes from a container to a ship to a truck to your front door. Okay? All right. When you ship, you're going to need boxes, the right size box, because if you do oversized box, it's going to cost you more. So you want the right size box. You want shipping tape. I buy the big stuff at Costco there's like 12 or 9 in a package, but get yourself one of these from Uline. It's not very expensive. It's under 20 bucks, and it has a little C-clamp on it so you can attach it to your table so it doesn't go anywhere. I didn't happen to bring it with me, so I'm going to have to use both hands. Glue dots, get the heavy-duty stuff, and you can still use this tape because you can use double-sided tape. I tend to use a lot of double-sided tape if I'm right here right in town and I'm delivering it. If I'm going to ship something and I know that it's going to take a long trip, I use glue dots. You don't have to use a lot of them, okay? Don't overdo it. You're going to need packing paper, and you're going to need bubble wrap. All right. Now, I prefer not to use peanuts. It is a personal preference. I know if you go into a UPS store and they open the box and then they lift the lever and all these peanuts come down, I'm just going to tell you a little story. When I worked for Hefty, I worked in a warehouse that had all the styrofoam containers that you get when we service Cisco for the to-go boxes. They were made out of styrofoam, and they were wrapped in plastic, and they were moved from the facility, the production facility, to the warehouse. I don't know if anybody knows, but cellophane and peanuts, plastic is made out of petroleum. Petroleum is flammable. So guess what happens when styrofoam containers rub up against plastic in a 95-degree humid building? Poof. Yes, ma'am. Poof. That was a real ugly mess to clean up. It's black smoke everywhere, plastic stuck to the walls. It was pretty nasty. That's just because I've lived it, that I tend not to use too many peanuts. I may use them in the container wrapped in paper, but I don't typically use them in packing. That doesn't mean I'm not going to show you how to do it. I am going to show you, if you prefer this method, and it's inexpensive and it works.
I'm still going to show it to you, okay? The goal is to pass the upside down test. Okay? You know what that means. It means everything's stuck together. And I can throw it across the room. Now this may not, but you get the idea. I may not throw this box across the room, but your UPS driver sure the heck will. Just like the guy at Southwest Airlines throws your luggage, UPS is going to throw your box. I have a couple of baskets up here. 2 of them I made yesterday. One of them is Mary Ann's. And the reason I chose one of Mary Ann's baskets is because of the height. Also because of the weight. But we also chose one because of the bow. This is a very hefty bow, and I'll go into that as well. But there are ways that you can wrap these and still keep them within your dimensional services. All right. Yes, Andy, I know you're out there, and I know you said not to ship balloons, but I can tell you that if you are going to ship a balloon, make sure you know where it's going and that there are no mountains or altitude involved, because they'll deflate. If it's going across flatlands like Kansas, you're probably okay. Know that second day air and next day air is an airplane, and that's going to cost you money. Okay, if it's, for the sake of argument, let's say that you're going to ship it ground, that's going to go on a truck, and it'll probably take 4 to 7 days. Because if you know anything about the United States, you know it's about 3,000 miles long, and the truck drivers are only allowed, according to DOT, which is the Department of Transportation, are only allowed to drive a certain amount of hours, and then they have to stop and rest, which is why you don't see too many drivers on the roads at certain peak times during the day, because they're at a truck stop resting. The government has made it very difficult on truck drivers in the industries and the trucking industry. And big trucking companies are having a hard time with this. So you've got truck drivers, you've got turnover, etc. Yes.
Deb, is this, the balloons, is that only for helium balloons that you're talking about,
Okay.
or air-filled?
So for helium balloons, when it comes to helium, you know that that's a gas. And I would be really careful with that, especially if you're shipping. And I know that the balloon companies will probably ship them, but there is a helium shortage for one. If you've ever had a bunch of balloons in the back of your car, if you go to the party store, they'll tell you, don't leave these in your car for too long because they'll start to deflate in the back of your car. And maybe you bring them in the house and they never come back to life. Sometimes they will, you know, it's a gas. Sometimes it won't, and you've got a lumpy balloon. But if you're going to blow up a balloon with a pump or with your human air, it'd probably be okay. All right. This particular balloon I blew up yesterday, and it's just going to start to deflate. But if I know it's going to get there within a couple days, it'll probably be okay.
So you're talking about latex as opposed to Mylar?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. The question was shipping, the difference between shipping Mylar and latex, and shipping helium versus air. Okay. Was that a good answer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, so the mountains and altitude, you know, it's going to deflate, just pretty much guarantee it. You can test this yourself if you'd like. Fill up some balloons in the back of your car and go to Denver, and it'll tell you all about it. All right, if you're shipping glass, let's say a salsa jar or wine glasses, you want to make sure that they are bubble wrapped within your package. Now, I have been known to put really fancy wine glasses or flutes inside my baskets. I will first design them inside to find out where they fit and where they look nice, and then I will bubble wrap them and put them back into place. All right, and then I will wrap it in the cellophane, and sometimes I'll actually put a piece of bubble wrap over it as well. So I bubble wrap the glass, and then I put a piece of bubble wrap in place, and then I wrap it around. And then when I put the bubble wrap around the entire basket, which I will show you that process, and then I start to package it, this stuff doesn't break because you've secured it really nicely in the container and in the packaging and then in the box. Okay. When you're using glass like that, use glue dots to secure them to other things around the glass. All right. When it's packaged, in bubble wrap. That's probably kind of difficult to do, but it's possible. It can be done without taking away the integrity of the look. Soaps and chocolates. How many of you? It's a no-no. I was teaching some classes in Denver, and I was teaching a basket class, and this gal her husband was in the military, and they were in Belgium, and so she wanted to ship her daughter some Belgian chocolates, but she also shipped some smelly soaps. So when it got to her in the United States, her Belgian chocolate tasted like soap. So try not to do too many pamper baskets with chocolate unless the fragrance is contained. And by that I mean like a bottle of something that's well twisted on. But if it's a soap itself, it's going to permeate through any kind of plastic because it's petroleum and it absorbs smell. And I have this at the end of my presentation, but I'll bring it up here. When cellophane, because it's an oil-based product, absorbs smells, not just soap, but smoke. So if you're using a courier, use a non-smoking courier because you don't want your basket arriving at the destination smelling like cigarettes. It's happened. All right. The box sizes I use, everybody's different, but I have found that these two box sizes fit perfectly for every single design that I use. I use a lot of the big Boxco boxes, but I also use the small Boxco boxes. 18 by 12 by 12 for your large, and 16 by 10 by 10 for your small. There's no reason why you can't make a $300 upscale basket and put it in an 18 by 12 by 12 box. It is the look. I taught you this yesterday. It is the wow factor. You have more upscale products in a smaller container. The container can be really expensive. Everything in it can be really expensive, and you've still kept it within this size. And it still makes an impression. All right. So UPS, USPS, FedEx, couriers, non-smoking vehicles, no trucks, and I mean pickup trucks. I was having this conversation with Alex and with Ben. If your courier shows up in a pickup truck and he's smoking, you might be in trouble.
Yes, the basket's gonna be outside.
Yeah, if he has a tonneau cover on the back, it might be okay. But when you're calling your courier, get your rates. Have somebody you like to work with. I had somebody I like to work with in Denver regularly, and they knew that I would always tell them a no smoking driver. And sometimes they show up in a really tiny beat up Toyota Corolla. You know, hey, it gets from one place to the other as long as the guy's not smoking and I can have it contained well enough. If you're delivering it yourself, make sure that once it's wrapped, put it in a box and put the box in your back seat and strap that sucker in like a baby. Because it's going to fall over no matter what. Or put it in the front seat and strap it to the front seat, okay? All right. Dimensional weight. You've probably heard this term before and not really understood it. To determine your dimensional weight, rate for box sizes, you're going to take the length, the width, and the height of the box and divide that answer by 194. Now we're talking about like 24 by 18 by 18 boxes. This is a big box. I tend to stay away from that size. And I'll tell you the story. When I first started this business, my brother said, hey, you should make Dad a really nice basket and I'll ship you this, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah, the basket was a $300 basket and it was really cool. It cost me $35 to ship it from Denver to Indiana. And my dad saw the tag. He saw it cost $35. He's like, Deb, oh my God, it cost $35 cents box. I didn't know any better. That was a long time ago. I know better now. So if I send him something, it's going to be like this. Okay? All right, so for the purposes of this, let's say you have an 18 by 12 by 12 box, and you multiply that out. It comes out to 2,592. Okay? You're going to divide that by 194. And then you're going to round up. Comes out to 14 pounds. Now, none of my stuff ever weighs more than 8 in that size box. So you're still within your weight and your size limit. All right. So determining your overall girth for something is, what is it, 84 inches, I think? I have it written down here. Some baskets have different rates. It is overall 84 inches. So if you go overall 84 inches, they're going to charge you the dimensional weight rate, which it's a 30-pound rate. And that 30-pound rate can start to cost you a fortune. All right. So keep it condensed. Just like when you see the little iPad and its little pretty box, and you see how it's contained, and it's shipped from China, you're going to do the same thing. All right. Let's wrap some baskets. Now, for the purposes of this, it's just for educational purposes. Nothing here may match. It's what I have to work with. So I have some cellophane that doesn't really go with any of this, but it's cellophane and I'll show you, okay? It's gonna get really loud. All right. Now I don't have an 18 by 12 by 12, but I do have this box. I'm not really sure what it is. 22 by what? Maybe
14 by 12.
14 by 12? Okay. So let's first wrap the basket. All right, I usually use a 20-inch roll or a 30-inch roll. If I have a 40-inch roll, I usually end up cutting it off because I want it to be clean when I wrap it. And I will use that little 10-inch square or 10-inch length for the plume, for the fan, if I need it, okay? So I'm not wasting anything. Now, if you're doing a fruit basket, I'm just gonna make this statement. Make your fruit basket on top of your cellophane. Don't try to make your fruit basket and then pick it up and then put it on the cellophane. Lay your cellophane out first and then make the basket so you can just wrap it. That's just my little tip. All right, so Mary Ann let me borrow this and it's really heavy. But that doesn't mean that you can't wrap it and ship it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap around the front because we want to make sure that this passes the upside down test. Mary Ann and I did try to, tape and glue as much as this is possible. So I'm making a kind of a backwards window here, but I'm securing from the back to the front. Now we're going to bring it up the middle and up the sides, and this has to be taut, okay? So see how I'm pulling this up and around? I am making a window and I'm securing all of this inside of it. Pull up your plume. Really tight. Start to pull this up. Grab the neck. Grab it like your life depends on it. And pinch it. No Marianne made this bow and it's perfect to ship because this Punchinello product, it will endure shipping and it bounces back. It's great stuff. Now you see how I wrapped it around the front and then wrapped it around the back? Because I'm using the bag itself as a tool to hold in my product. So I have this stuff on the sides and it looks kind of crummy, right? I will pull this down really tight and I will start to roll it. So now I'm twisting and pulling down at the same time. So I have a seam right down the middle here. And yes, you will have to use 2 hands because this basket kind of weighs a little. But see, I pulled it nice and tight underneath. Same thing here. I'm going to pull it down and I'm just going to twist and turn. And I made the seam. Pull it down and underneath. Okay? Pass. Okay. Passes. All right. So we've got our box. Invest in your bubble wrap. Now somebody's going to ask me where I buy my supplies.
Where do you buy your supplies?
I buy mine from PSAUSA.com. They're in Denver and in New York, I believe, but they're a wholesale box company and they sell everything. Bubble wrap, fragile stickers. PSA, Packaging Supplies of America, -USA. Now my recommendation is for you to find somebody in your local area who sells wholesale packaging supplies. I know Uline is all over the United States, but the shipping can be high. PSA just recently instituted a $100 minimum. Now I would buy, boxes, especially for the holidays, 50, 100 at a time, because it gets really busy. But you can buy bubble wrap and you want the 12 by 12 perforated squares like this. It's a little easier to work with. And remember how I was talking about the glasses? Because they're easy to wrap glasses in, you can stick it back in and then if you need to take another piece and stick it underneath. Okay, so they may not be able to see it, but when they unwrap it, they'll know that it's in one piece.
If you compare the prices of just having like the UPS do the box for you, by the time you buy your supplies and pay shipping and all that, what is it?
Because they charge you retail pricing.
Okay,
You're
so
paying for their time.
Yes, yeah.
so do you know the actual difference of price?
No, it's gonna be different by every outlet. All right, we take the bubble wrap, bubble side in, underneath the bow. And I'm gonna wrap. Now, I know every kid likes to play with bubble wrap. Caught Travis yesterday. I said, don't do that to my bubble wrap. But you'll get to do that. All right. So I'm wrapping. I'm going to tape it in the back. Just what I'm doing right here, just pulling it together. Okay. And up here in the corners, you're going to have these little dog ears. And I think Marianne's probably showed you this before. You just pull, if you're using a cellophane or a bag, you just pull them down while you have to pop these. And it's okay to take.
Do you charge a handling fee?
Yeah,
What is it?
$3. Just for me, it's not that hard. You can charge probably as high as $5. All right, now you can do more. Now, if you have a container that's not a box, that's not gonna, break, this is a pretty heavy duty container. It's an organizer, so it's kind of heavy. But I am going to bubble wrap the bottom here. And I don't want to waste too much of this. Can't always see the perforation. All right, so I'm just adding more. So I don't want this thing to break or chip. All right. Told you it was going to make noise. Now this is going to pass the throwing test.
Throw it to me, man, throw it to me.
All right, so we have our box. We're going to use packing paper. Like I said, I don't tend to use peanuts, but I'll show you how that works. You're going to take one of these sacks. I try to stay away from anybody's business. If it says thank you, I'm good with that. Or if it's a plain white one, fill it with your peanuts. I wouldn't go too overboard, maybe halfway full. Tie a knot in it, because you don't want that stuff coming out. Get the air out of it, and you just made your own little pillow. I would put this underneath the bow of the neck of the basket. Now, I've been lucky enough that I have a massage therapist and an acupuncturist who for the last 8 years have been providing me with my shipping supplies because they get their needles and their oils and everything in the mail, and so they would always give me their leftover paper and their bubble wrap, and it was awesome. So I always had shipping supplies. So these come in squares. It's the same stuff I would use in my basket, but they do make heavier weight. I think, Claudia, you use heavier weight than this, don't you?
I use regular newsprint.
You do? Okay. So put it in there. Okay? Now I put this bubble wrap basket, I'm going to put it on top of the peanuts. This fits. Now this crown is just going to go a little bit, and that's okay. But I still got everything in here. I'm going to put a little bit more paper around the sides of the bow. And then I'm going to add some more to the top of the basket. Now I might need to take some of the peanuts out of this bag because I'm going to squish the bow. I got it in here. Okay? So it's possible. Now, if you're not using the peanuts, you can just use the paper underneath the neck, but you want to raise it up just a little bit so you're still protecting it. Okay, yeah, Ann.
If you were shipping a bottle of wine in there, would you choose to lay it like that also?
Yes, yeah. Ann asked if I was shipping a bottle of wine, would I choose to lay it like this also? Yes. I lay down all my baskets.
So all your baskets ship horizontally versus standing up vertically?
All of them. All of them ship like this. Yep, and they all show up in one piece. Yes.
Would you tape the wine in, I mean, if you want a bottle, would you tape it versus glue dot it before you put it in the wine?
The question is, would I tape or glue dot wine? So when I make wine baskets, I actually tie the neck of the bottle to a handle. I tend to use handled baskets when doing any kind of wine or glasses because I find that the handle helps in stability. And I know that that bottle of wine's not gonna go anywhere if I've tied the heck out of it to the handle.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
yes.
would you address the legality of wine?
Yes.
How we can't do it in the.
Yep. So legalities of wine, really good point. In the state of Colorado, you have to have a liquor license to sell wine and make baskets. In fact, I went out to the government website and I'm not even supposed to be putting wine in baskets. But I had an attorney, a whole humongous corporation, who wanted to do wine baskets, and I told him, according to state law, you would have to provide it to me, but really, here is the little code that says I'm not even really supposed to make them. And he said, okay, I'll do something else. But since I don't have $10,000 to,
Pay that fine.
no, to actually have a liquor license,
Yeah.
yeah, it's 10 grand for a liquor license in Colorado. The best thing to do is, if you don't, I think in the state of California, it's okay for you to have,
No,
Oh.
no license.
oh, you have to have license.
You're supposed to. You can technically have someone drop off wine and put it in.
Yes.
But they don't like it, but they really usually don't care.
That's
'Cause I
how
got
Colorado
caught
is.
doing it before I had my license, and there was no fine, so it was fine.
Yeah.
And I said, and I actually had a bunch of Don at the time, Don Perignon, and I said, I told him, that's my client's wine, is that okay? It was a lie, but I told them that. And they said it was okay, but technically they should put it in, but
It's iffy, so,
But it's about 8 grand, 8 to 10 to get a wine license.
yeah,
anyway.
so it's better if they give it to you and then you put it in, or just tell them you'll put sparkling cider in it.
I'd like to make a comment on that. I'm really a stickler about this, so
Yes.
I'm gonna push it. You need to be careful and find out what the rules in your state are. And the more popular your business gets, the more your competition's gonna be on your tail. And if you get busted for that, it's a really big deal fine. So find out what the liquor laws are and don't do it if you don't feel like it's going to be legal. Because even when your client brings it to you and you put it in your basket, if it's delivered to a minor,
Right.
you're in a lot of trouble.
And Mary Ann makes a really good point. You want to
Repeat
be,
all of that.
what's that?
Repeat all
Yeah,
of that.
so Mary Ann makes a good point. With liquor, you have to be careful because who it's going to. So if you're delivering it to a home, I would recommend that you have an adult sign for it, don't just drop it off, because some 18-year-old kid could go, oh, look, and then never tell dad that he got a really great wine basket from, his boss or client, and then somebody finds out and arrests you because you delivered a basket to a minor of alcohol. Yes, Virginia.
I have found, we're in California, and I have found even delivering to certain businesses, I get a signature because of the fact that they may have minors working in the
Yes.
business.
So Virginia makes another point, even if you're delivering to businesses, the guys at the receiving dock may be minors. So you have to make sure that you are getting a delivery signature from an adult. Yes. So, all right, that was my presentation. Do you have any questions? Yes, Ann.
So, okay, I'm from the shrink wrap family, and I think I'm converting. Can
Don't
you
do
just
it.
speak to the shrink wrap versus that? Like, when you're shipping, I see now that once that barrier is there, then there really is no.
Right. I just don't like to use shrink wrap. I have a basket here that Virginia from basket dropping, gift basket drop shipping allowed me to use. And, you know, it works for some people. Great. I mean, this particular basket is really small, and it's very tastefully done. There's no reason why you can't use it. But there is, when the shrink wrap starts to give over time, you know how that shrink starts to relax, then it's taking away from the product. Again, then you have to have a lot of glue dot stuff going on, but this is pretty stable.
Couldn't you shrink wrap it and then cellophane it?
Sure you could, but that's a cost to you, and it's also time. Why'd you do it twice?
You could also just hit it with the gun again.
Yes.
And it will shoot that, just like your clothes do.
So the question over here was, wouldn't you just wrap it again after you've shrink wrapped it? And my response was, why would you touch it twice? It's just like any kind of logistics thing. Why would you touch it twice? Right? Yeah. I'm done.
Okay, so let me just talk to the shrink wrap thing for a second, because I shrink wrap 90% of my baskets.
I'm 100.
So just different styles, right? Yeah, total different preference. Alex, can you be my clicker?
Look at that.
Get a chair, have a seat.
Click it.
Here, go around this way because of the cords.
Oh, I gotta stand, I can't sit.
Bring the chair.
Oh, bring the chair over.
Sassy. So anyways, just different styles depending on your personal preference, but I do, when it comes to baskets that are under 14 by 14 by 14, I shrink wrap all of them. I like the way they look from a presentation standpoint. I just do. I like the glossiness. But then some of the larger baskets that we do, I will use cello unless I'm shipping, then I shrink wrap. And yes, LaDonna, I will do both sometimes. It just depends on what's in the basket and how well it's going to be secured and where it's going. So I do a lot of shipping, and I want to make sure that it gets there. One really fun thing that you could do, make a basket, shrink wrap it, ship it across the country, and ask them to ship it back to you and see what shape it comes in. So my second year of business, that happened to me, and when the basket came back, I was mortified. I was like, oh my God, thank God this person didn't open this basket, because I didn't know. It looked beautiful when it left me. It looked great, it was perfect. By the time it got there, like Deb said, sometimes if you shrink wrap it too much, it will crack. So, or pop on its own, so you have to be really careful. So, okay. I've got a half an hour, so this Italian girl is going to speak real fast. I'm going to go through a ton of technologies that I want you to consider, and I'm just going to touch the very top surface. Just the top. Go ahead, Al. Licks. So what's really important about technology is not only is it important for you to be viewed as a with it company, right? And I learned this because I'm in Silicon Valley, and people expect us to have the right level of technology. But it's also, from an operational perspective, really, really good to pay attention to how much time you're spending on your processes. So one thing that I learned really quickly is I was working a full-time job when I started my company, and I was by myself. There was not somebody in my office while I was at Cisco working. And so I had to try to figure out how I was going to do both. And so on my lunch, I would go check my messages, and I would call people back and take the orders. And when I got home, I'd make the basket. You know how it goes. Some of you are doing that now. So the concept then, back then, I feel old now when I say back then, back in the day, was that I set up my home voicemail system to page me anytime I had a message, right? So at least I would know that I had a client that was trying to get hold of me. And I would get orders, but not as many as I should. And so technology has evolved to the point now where I am all over the place all the time, working when I want to be working. I don't sit at my desk per se, right? I'm out and about doing my thing because I'm able to do so because of technology. And here's what's so important is the time savings that you're going to have with technology, the reduction of vulnerabilities for error. So here's an interesting thing. If you have a particular process and you have employees that are going to be touching it, you want to reduce and eliminate any room for error. Anywhere where they can make a mistake of some sort, you want to try to get rid of that. And some technology can do that for you. So that's important too from a process standpoint. And then to work more efficiently. You know, do you want to have your client go to your website, download a paper form, print it on their printer, fill it out, and then have to fax it to you? What's that? Was it 1980? We don't do that anymore, right? So we have to make sure that we're staying up with all the technology. This is really important, and I don't think that we give this enough credit. Clients in the younger generation are looking to see, do we text? How many of you text with your clients? See, and back in the day, that would be unheard of, right? Because that's not professional enough. You want to be on the phone with them, you want to be developing relationships, you want to be making sure you're listening to their needs, all that great stuff. The younger generation, they don't want any of that. They want a quick order, they want to know that they can communicate with you, they want to text you their order, they want you to respond back and say, consider it done. And by the way, charge my card. So I take orders off of Facebook now. Literally, people will go in Facebook and say, Debbie, I need this basket, can you take care of it? Yeah, done. That's it, that's my whole conversation. Period. And have I developed a relationship with them already? Yes. Have they ordered from me before? Most likely. But that's the way our clients want to work sometimes. And we have to be able to work with our clients in any way that they want to work. Okay, go ahead. So one thing, and I talk about this on our opening day, is the fear of technology. And so many of you have it. I know, because I'm coaching half of you. And I know that technology is scary. I know when you're embarking on something that you've never done before, it's really scary. But what I want you to know is that it's not that hard. Once you learn how to use it, it's actually pretty easy. It really isn't that difficult. So let your fears go away, because technology is your friend, trust me. Every client is a VIP, and I know we all have that mindset. That's one thing that I love about our industry, is that we treat our clients as very important people. And one by one, we do it in the way that they want to be treated. And like I said, I do have some clients that don't really have time for niceties. And then I have some clients that want me to come in and sit with them for an hour and a half and get to know them and bring in gifts and show them off, and that's fine. So I learn how to work with my clients the way they want me to work with them. And that's really important, because if you overdo it, they're going to be like, oh my God, okay, it's taking way too much time, I'm too busy, I don't have time for this right now, and off they go. Okay, so here's the first technology I'm going to talk to you about, and this is going to make you cringe just for a few minutes. Picture that somebody is going into Google, and in Google they're putting gift baskets in San Jose, California, or gift basket delivery, San Jose, California, okay? Top keyword where I live, I dominate, of course. And so when they go on the internet and they go to my website and they're shopping through my website and they have a question, they want to talk to somebody right away, and guess what? The majority of people these days are so busy, they don't even want to pick up the phone anymore. That's what's happening to our society. They don't even want to call. They want an immediate answer. When you guys ask me questions about the convention, do you want to wait? Do you want to send me an email and have to wait for me to answer you? No, you want an immediate answer. So most of you text message me or you'll live chat with us because you want an immediate answer. If they can't get the answer to their question, guess what they're going to do? They're going to go back to Google and they're going to go to the next company. So really important that you consider either of these technologies. Zopim is the one that I recommend. It's free. It's some code that you put on your website. And here's what's really cool. You don't have to be on Zopim all the time if you don't want to be stuck to the computer. You can actually put it on your front page and they can put a question in the box and it gets emailed to you. But that is different for them than having to go to a contact us page. The concept of a contact us page is dinosaur. Nobody wants to go click to contact you. They want to be able to contact you from the front page. And technology and metrics will show you that via bounce rate off your website. So if we take a look at your metrics and understand your bounce rate, part of that is because they're not getting the answer to their question within 10 seconds of being on your site. So when I go and look at your website, the first thing I look for are the top 10 baskets that people typically buy on the front page of your site. Because if they're not, they're bouncing. If they can't contact you to ask you a question quickly and get their question answered quickly, they're bouncing. That's how fast our society is moving right now. Here's some other really interesting things. You can see what people are doing. You can see this through analytics too, but Zocom actually has, and so does LivePerson, has a pretty robust metric system where you can actually see where people are on your site. It's kind of cool. So when I send out a newsletter about a particular gift basket line, like when I launched Hootbox, the first thing I did was go watch and see how many people jumped on my site, where they were going. I was on live chat, people were asking questions, it was awesome, right? So you can actually see where people are going, and it's interesting to see what people are doing and what they're clicking on and looking at. It's free, totally scalable. If you end up needing to have 5 or 6 people on live chat because you're so busy, you can pay for it, but these are both free. And then if you're offline, leaving a message is easy, and it's acceptable practice. That's another thing. Live chat's very acceptable practice, as long as you're good at it. Okay, screen share. This is another one that I love, and this is gonna be really scary for a quick second, just for a minute. My clients will call me and they say, hey Debbie, we need to send a sympathy gift basket, what do you recommend? This is a sympathy thing, right? Everybody wants to send $500 fruit baskets for sympathy. And I say, I don't think anybody's gonna be able to eat $500 worth of fruit in a time where they are really depressed and sad, right? So we always say, look, let me show you some other baskets. And so I send them a quick link. We're on the phone together. I send them a quick link, and they're able to see my computer like that. Under a minute. Here, let me send you a quick link. Here's some ideas for you. Here's some things we've done. And now they can see my entire computer. Now here's another one, my drivers. I can show them maps of the property now with Google Earth of where they're going to be delivering. So I do a lot of high-end baskets for some high-end clients that have mansions, and so now I'm able to show them, here's the property and what it looks like, and if I see that there's a gate, I know ahead of time that I need to be able to know who to contact and be able to give proper instructions with the use of Google Earth. So when I sit there and sit with my driver or call him and say, here's my list of deliveries, I can actually show him where to go and how to get there. So this is a very powerful tool, and again, a little scary, but if you're not going to be sitting in front of your client and your client doesn't have time to meet with you, you can still have that conversation and be able to show them on your website what you're after. Hit me.
What's it called?
Join me. Oh, and by the way, it's free. All right, Skype. How many of you know how to use Skype now? All right. Skype is pretty amazing and a necessity for me in Silicon Valley because this is all we all do. The ability to be able to have a conversation with your client instead of just being on the phone, having a face-to-face conversation, right? Being able to use video, and this is common practice, something we do a lot of to be able to develop that relationship. So they'll call via Skype and we'll have a conversation. Here's the greatest thing, this is from 2009 and you can't see this, but this article right here was a story that was written about me because I started showing gift basket designs to my clients over Skype. In my shop, I have an area where there's a camera, and I can show the gift basket to them and say, this is what we're going to be sending, what do you think? And they go, oh my God, that's the greatest thing ever. Well, you know what, I was thinking maybe we could change out the container for just like $6 more. Let me show you this container. And I started to upsell them and started to do some things for them where they were more comfortable about the basket that they were ordering. And I did this in a time where baskets were kind of a little bit of a unknown. People weren't really too sure what they were going to get in a gift basket, and I wanted to remove that. So we started doing it over Skype, and it's great for upsell because they can actually see what they're getting, right? And they love it. I mean, especially the younger generation because they're video conferencing all the time, right? So now they actually can see what's going on. I don't just have to take a picture and then send the picture to them. I can actually show them live. Okay, I'm going to go fast. Yeah. I stopped talking. Okay, this is something that has made me a ton of money. How many of you have BigCommerce as a website platform? Okay, so you're lucky because here's what's so cool. I have a specific page for when one of my really, really good clients is a limousine company. When they log in to their account on my website, it shows them all of their custom branded gifts. All the gifts that I've made for them with their printed ribbon or what they wanted, it shows all of that. They can go and order their own gifts. Nobody else can see them except for the limousine company. So you could do this by giving them a specific URL. URLs are $10 a year. If you've got a client, you're doing $30,000, what's 10 bucks, right? Where you can go a specific URL. But in BigCommerce, you actually can program it to where it shows a specific category of gift. And so I did this for Lone Star. Go ahead and hit it, I'll show you what it looks like. This is just one gift, not my favorite gift, but this is one gift where when she logs in, those on the side over there, those are all of her gifts. And this is one of her gifts that I sell a ton of, where their whole thing is stars. It's Lone Star Limousine, so their whole thing is stars. And so they'll go in here, put in the card message, we'll ship it, deliver it, whatever it needs to be, but they'll order several at a time. And I don't have to talk to them. Not that I don't want to talk to them, but they don't have time to talk to me. Her assistant will just go in here, place their order, we'll get the order, we'll take care of it, they get a receipt, we're done. Period. We're over. This is so big for clients because they feel so VIP. So I have another one for Keller Williams Real Estate. And then every time I go talk to another Keller Williams real estate agent, I show them what I've done for this other realtor.
Wow.
Right? And they're all over it. And they feel so VIP because they have their own website for their own gifts. This is huge, huge, huge concept. A little bit of work because you have to make all the gifts for the clients, take the pictures, the whole bit. But 2 years ago when we did all their gifts for Christmas, we did 10 different gifts for them. So we shot the pictures, uploaded them to the website, and now they order them all year long. And it's just amazing. They love it. And they feel so upscale about it too, like, oh, we have our own portal? Yeah, you do, because you're important to me. Right, so this is a great thing to do. And you can do this on just about any platform. It's just a matter of if you can protect certain categories. So that's a little too technical for today. Go ahead. Okay, I'm going to talk about operational technologies. Go ahead. Okay, you probably know that we're a pretty big Apple family because Travis works for Apple, and God forbid if we were to use a PC anymore. But the idea of a mobile office and not being tied to a desk 8 to 5 anymore is such a big deal. And the ability to be mobile through the use of tablets and laptops and having everything you need self-contained, so you're not tied to a desktop anymore, is really important. Because we're not 8 to 5 anymore, are we? We're constantly going, we're constantly working, and if you want to take a break in the middle of the day to go to your kid's soccer game, that's awesome. So Alex bought Gift Marketing Alliance in 2010. We flew to Florida, met with Emmett, did the transaction. We took the company over the next day, and we ran his company the very first day we owned it from the Bahamas. It was awesome. He was so excited. But we were able to do everything from anywhere. The whole way down here, when we drove down here, what's today, a couple days ago? I worked the whole time. Now, he installed a plug in the car for me so I can actually have a plug so I don't lose battery. But I was able to work the whole time if I wanted to, which I did. Right? So be mobile. Don't get yourself tied down to an office. Be mobile, have the right devices so that you can go and do whatever you need to do whenever you need to do it. If you're in a client's office and you can pull up a basket or show them something on your tablet, that's pretty impressive. Right? Showing it in person is even better. But be mobile, don't be stuck. Don't be stuck. Okay, this is a good one. Custom forms. This is so big. Okay, if you wanted to create some type of specific form for your customers to fill out, so let's say, for example, I know we keep going to this real estate concept, so I'll go back to it. If you have a particular program that you have in place for realtors and you need them to fill something out that is specific to them, okay, or you want them to be able to upload their photo. So I'll give you an example. I have one realtor that every time she sells a house, we do a set of 4 mugs for her with a picture of their new house on the mugs. We do return address labels. I don't know why, because nobody mails bills anymore, but she wants them. We do a lot of personalized items. So what she does is she goes to her personal portal. She fills out a custom form that I made where she can upload the image that she needs me to print on the mugs. Any type of custom form that you have, if you're having some type of a specific promotion or a contest or anything, JotForm allows you to create any type of form that you want. You can even accept payment through it. So if you're having an event or you're doing something where you want people to fill out something custom that your website doesn't have, this is free. And an amazing, once you start to think about how to use it, it's really awesome. And it's free. All of this is free. Yes?
Is it JotForm?
JotForm. There's several of them out there, but that's the one I really like. Hit it. Okay, most of you already know about this, but I'm just going to mention it just in case. Mobile payment forms, right? The ability for me to swipe your credit card on my tablet through PayPal or Square, whatever it may be. There's a new merchant, well, they're not totally new, but this is a relatively new company called Stripe. They're just as competitive as Square and just as competitive with PayPal, but you can take mobile payments anywhere. So now when I go to my client's office and I bring the basket and I sit there and I talk to them and they place the order with me, I have my order form on my tablet ready to go. I just take their credit card and swipe it right there. They sign with their finger and they get the email receipt immediately. Transaction done.
But doesn't Square do the same thing?
Huh?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Square and Stripe are the same thing. I don't know why, but I'm starting to become a little bit more partial to Stripe for some reason. I'm not sure why. Yeah.
Do you know anything about the, if they've resolved the thing with Indiana or Illinois, who was suing Square because of?
I don't. So the question was, do I know about the lawsuit with Square? And I don't know anything about that. Yeah. I have never had a problem with PayPal, Square, Stripe ever. I hear a lot of horror stories. PayPal's changed over the years, and I believe in what they do now. I take a lot of payments through PayPal. My clients prefer PayPal over credit cards. And I'm moving away from traditional credit card processors. Your little machine that you have where you swipe the card, that's out of here. It's just out of here. They're charging too much. They're just charging too much. All right, hit me. One more.
The swipe machine's not gonna work with the token that they coming out with for credit cards.
Yeah, I know.
Token, right, so swipe machine.
Yeah, this technology's evolving a lot. I don't have time to go into it right now, but the credit card processing technology is evolving a lot, and those little terminals that you paid for in red, they're like old school now. So, one more time. Okay, some marketing technologies real quick. How many of you have heard of Rafflecopter? Okay, Rafflecopter is the ability for you to have a contest where people go and enter the contest by liking your Facebook page, following you on Twitter, sharing a particular post that you have. You can actually set the parameters of what you want your contest to be through Rafflecopter, and it logs everything. So I did Rafflecopter in GBA Talk probably 6 months ago, maybe. Marilyn, I remember you won something. I think Virginia did too, but so I tried this and I'm continuing to test this, but Rafflecopter is really cool because you can increase your social networking footprint by asking people to like and share and follow, and they don't mind doing it because every time they do it, they get a ticket in your raffle. And it logs everybody who's done it for you, and then it will even pick a person for you, so you're not partial. So check that out because this is a new and up and coming concept. Again, inexpensive. I think there is a version of this that's free. And it's really fun for clients. And again, the younger generation loves this type of stuff because everybody wants to win something. So check out Rafflecopter. Okay, your favorite, everybody's favorite, video. Let me tell you what my position is on video and how video is evolving. When video started to become really hot, it was really important that videos were really polished. You know, where you'd get on there and go, hi, I'm Debbie Fontana. Everything was perfect, right? Now, acceptable practice is to be polished but casual. And so if you guys know me well, you know that I always talk about that you personally are your brand. People are buying because of you. And I learned that a long time ago, and it completely changed my business life, completely. And so if you can show who you are and your personality, and people get to know you and like you, they trust you, and they're gonna do business with you, and video is the perfect way to do it. So it's not a bad thing for you to be able to do a quick video on your phone and post it to Facebook, or post it to your website, or to YouTube and to share it. That's not a bad thing. It's totally acceptable practice. Now, do I want a little bit of professionalism? Of course. I want your company name on the front. I'd like to have your website, your phone number. I'd like to have some, decent music of some sort, right? And a certain format that I prefer to follow. But it's totally okay for you to just take your phone and do a quick video. Totally acceptable practice, and it shows the human side of who you are. If you start becoming too polished and too overly professional, it's not going to come across genuine. It's going to come across a little overdone. And that's just not acceptable anymore. If you look at the way that YouTube has progressed and a lot of the different video companies, including Vimeo, which Vimeo allows you to do longer videos than YouTube, but they're all encouraging, and marketing professionals like myself will tell you, show who you are, be genuine. Allow people the opportunity to get to know you, and they'll do business with you. Did I say hit me?
Yeah, I heard it, but you didn't say it.
All right, here's two different, did you talk about this already, Sue? Okay, two different technologies that I highly recommend. So many of you are trying really hard to do your social networking. So you're trying to post on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Instagram, right? And you got to go log into each one and do your posts. And sure, copy and paste is cool. But Hootsuite or Social allows you to go in and create your post one time and choose the networks that you want it to go to and when you want it to go there. So you essentially could schedule your social networking on a Monday afternoon for the entire month if you wanted to, and it will go out to each one all at the same time. So this saves a lot of time and money, and we do this for our clients because I can do your social networking for 2 hours a month because of this application. I don't have to go and log into every single one of your accounts. We just go into Hootsuite, load everybody's posts up, and off they go. And it's extremely helpful, and I think it's like $5.99 a week and $5.99 a month. Right now, if you're primarily only doing Facebook, Facebook does the scheduling too. There's a little clock on the post that you can use, and you can schedule your posts for whenever you want them to go. Go. What time is it?
3:54.
3:24.
54.
54, okay. All right, let's talk about Google Analytics for a quick second. One of the biggest things that I see is people coming to me and saying my website's not working for me. And so the first thing I do is go look at your metrics. I want to see how many people are coming to your website. I want to see how many people are going to your Facebook page. I want to know how many people are opening your newsletter, what they're doing. I put all those metrics together, and then I read it. It tells me a story. So if you're sending out a newsletter and your website hits don't go up, that tells me there's something wrong with your newsletter. If I see a lot of people going to your website, but nobody's ordering anything, that tells me there's something wrong with your website. And not in a technical sense. What I mean by that is that people are going to your website to buy a gift, and they're not finding what they want, right? And you probably have the cutest design up there that you made for your Aunt Sally 2 weeks ago that has something to do with nothing anybody else cares about, because it was cute and you enjoyed making it, but the run-of-the-mill person, they're in a hurry and they want to find the gift that they want to find. And if you don't have those multiple options on your website, like I said earlier, they're going to bounce. And so Google Analytics helps us understand that. So the first thing I do is go look at all of your metrics and figure out what's going on holistically, and this is the first place I go. What's really good about this too is it tells you how they're finding you, what keywords they're using to get to your website, and who they're being referred from. So if you do a constant contact newsletter, you're going to see in your Google Analytics that your website hits went up from a link off of Constant Contact, or from your Rafflecopter or anything else that you're doing. This is really valuable. Numbers in your business are huge, and I'm sure you do your bookkeeping and all that great stuff, but if you're not looking at your marketing figures, then we have a problem, because you have to understand what all of those numbers look like. It tells you very valuable information. Okay, here's a bonus, last slide. If you have a particular process, and you guys don't have to take pictures of every slide. You have the whole presentation on the website already. Bam.
Yeah, but this way it's on our iPad and we can just flip really fast.
Really? Okay. All right, that's good. I'm glad you have an iPad. That's good. Travis, she has an iPad. We're all good up here.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the deal. If you have a particular process, and I would challenge you to do this, take your most convoluted process that you have and process flow it out. Take a look at every step that it takes and see if there's a way that you can make some improvements in that process, because time is money. And if it's taking you a half an hour to do something, that could very easily relate to $25. If you have employees and it's taking them 22 minutes to run around your shop to find everything that they need, you're just cutting into your profit margin. So there's different things to look at when you're looking at process flow, and there's ways to insert technology. And so if you show me a process flow, I can probably look at it and go, okay, you know what, we can eliminate that, we can avoid that, and we can reduce that. Or we can make a custom technology for you, right, that eliminates or reduces or completely revamps a particular process. And so there's nothing wrong with you being creative about trying to do your own process improvements, because there's probably technologies out there that you don't even know about and that I don't even know about, because they're popping on the scene every day. And the only way that I keep up with my technology stuff is that kid back there. Because he works for Apple, and every day everybody's in there saying, oh, what's this about and what's this about? And then he comes home and he'll go, hey mom, did you know you could do this? And I'm like, oh no, I didn't know, right? And next thing you know, now my clients are getting it because we're working on trying to use the same technologies because they're helpful. So I'm not asking you to study new technologies, that's my job, and I'll always do that. But I'm asking you to embrace the concept of process improvement, because it's very important for your business. Even if you're only doing 10 orders a week right now, you're going to be doing more. And if you can tighten up your processes and integrate some technology and be really smart and efficient, you're going to make more money. And when it's time for your company to start to grow, it's going to work better for you. Does that make sense? All right, I'll take some questions just for a few minutes, and then we have to do our speed networking. Woo-hoo. Yeah, Marianne?
I just have a comment. Every time Deb has told me, who is very techie, scared, to look into a program, and has told me it was easy, it has been, and even I could do the ones she has told me about. But I have always been curious how you knew about all those programs, and now I know it.
Yeah, so Marianne just said every time I throw her something, it's relatively easy. I'm not going to give Travis all the credit, but I will give him quite a bit. My thing is that I worked for Cisco for so long, and we were forced to use technology. And I hate to say this because I'm not a geek, but I'm a technology junkie. Like, I love this stuff. It has made my life so much better. I'll tell you one more little story, and I wish he was up here because he would just turn bright red, because it's awesome. But Alex and Travis and I all have iPhones, okay? And for years, Alex and I were calling each other and going, hey, where are you? Where are you? Oh, I'm over here. Okay, well, do you want to have lunch? Yeah, but where are you? Okay, we're over here, right? So we put Find My Friends on our phones. So now, I know it's a little weird, but we get along great, and we want to know nobody's hiding anything. But I'll go on my phone and say, hey, where's Alex? And I'll be able to see where he is, and then I can go sneak up on him, or I'll know that I did it with him and his boss one day. It was hysterical. But we can go have lunch, right? So then what do I tell Travis? Okay? Tell Travis, hey, why don't you put Find My Friends on your phone? I won't have to keep calling and asking where you are, right? And you've got nothing to hide, so what's the big deal, right? So he did it. So now I'm able to go, okay, dude, look, it's 11:30, you're at Denny's, get home. Right? Little intrusive, but boy, I'll tell you, it sure makes my life easier because I don't have to worry, right? How many of you guys have kids? Right? And I don't care how old they are. You always worry. And if they're not home by midnight, you're like, well, where are they? Well, I go and I look and I go, oh, you shouldn't be there. Right? Text him, get your butt home. Right? Anyways, that's my little story. Any other questions? Yes, Anne.
Will it send you a text to let you, can you communicate via text with those people?
No. So she just asked if you can communicate with Zopum via text. No. Not unless they opt in to be able to do so. But it is capable. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's some pretty incredible technologies out there. The other thing that I do too on my website, and I did this for you guys too, is I said if you have a question or need anything, like the people on virtual, I gave them all my cell phone. And so sure enough, the first day when we're getting used to the virtual, they're texting me going, man, this is awesome, or I can't hear, or you know, whatever. And I said, well, turn off your speakers, and then they can hear. But it's just the texting technology is a little bit different than live chat, but they're all integratable. Mm-hmm.
So when you're mobile, how does live chat work? Like when
I have live chat
traveling
on my cell phone.
on your phone.
Mm-hmm. I can be walking down the aisle in Safeway talking to one of my clients if I want to. She just asked if you're mobile, how you use live chat. It's available on tablets, computers. Everything's web-based now. Does everybody know what the cloud means when people say the cloud? Right? It's web-based. Everything's web-based now. Databases no longer run. They no longer run on a specific PC. They're all based on the cloud. Okay, one more little technology. I'm going to just tell you really quickly what it is. It's called FreshBooks. It's a new online bookkeeping system. You don't have to do anything now. It's called FreshBooks. It's a really, really stripped down version of QuickBooks. I just put all 5 of my companies on it and I am in love. So when you get a moment, go check it out, see what you think. Okay, anything else? All right, you guys ready for some speed coaching? We're gonna wake up a little bit.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, so hey virtual, bye-bye for the day. You don't get to speed coach. Say bye, everybody. All right. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. If I'm gonna ask my faculty, we have some little chairs set up all around over here. If you could find a chair to sit in. There's 2 chairs, one for the person who's gonna coach with you, and one for you, but find your spot. And then you guys can choose which faculty member you want to sit with for 5 minutes. We're gonna let the timer go. You can milk my faculty for 5 minutes, ask them whatever you want, and then you can go on to the next person. Okay, we're gonna try it and see what happens. Okay? All right, let's set up.
I can't even see.